Dear friends, donors, my colleagues from the various organizations, family members, members of the press, and all the other dignitaries. Bhuma and the other trustees talked about the genesis and the mission of the hospital, why we are doing this and what we plan to be doing. I would like to talk to you about the many people and the many organizations who have helped us make this dream a reality and bring us this far, and to express our deep sense of gratitude to their contributions, for their contributions. Dr. Sarah Bhattacharjee and Dr. Vinohar Balraj, both of CMC Vellore. Mr. Ravindran, trustee of the Sundaram Medical Foundation. Dr. Arjun Rajagopal, director trustee of the SMF, who spoke before me, were amongst the first whom we consulted when we had the idea and we thought that we should be going ahead. We talked to them about the concepts, we talked to them about why we wanted to do this. They helped us with their experiences, they encouraged us to move ahead. We were surprised when they pointed out that we could do it. Even when we were overwhelmed by the challenges and worried about our capabilities, they kept encouraging us with their support and help. Sarah and Vinohar and Arjun from SMF have been a constant source of support, of advice, of planning from the very beginning and in every detail. They have held our hand at each step of the way. They have steered us away from very damaging mistakes. They have answered every foolish question that we had, whether it was in the concepts or in the layout, in the design, in the recruitment of the staff, in the focus of the services, in the type of people we should engage, in the ethos and the culture that we should be striving to build in this organization. Dr. Sarah and Vinohar also brought in many of their colleagues from CMC to help us, to work with us, to advise us. To mention a few: Sushil John, Dr. Suranjan, Dr. Jaiprakash, Dr. Jacob John. As Bhuma mentioned earlier, DKS, Dr. DK Srinivasan of the Hindu Mission, a trustee of the DCT and a good and old friend, has constantly speeded us up. After a year and a half of talking about the hospital and not doing anything, we were so frustrated by our unending planning and our doubts that he finally even asked us, are you, Bhuma Sarathi, are you just going to be talking about this or are you going to finally do something? He pushed us to take the decision to go ahead and correct the mistakes as we went along. His colleagues at the HMH, for example, Ms. Lata, Ms. Kavita and others, helped us with the details of suppliers, details of equipment and many other issues. Similarly, Dr. Balasubramaniam, Balu of the Vivekananda Hospital at Saragur near Kabini in Karnataka, Dr. Narmada from Nalam, Dr. Jairaj. Their interaction and personal involvement has been of immense support. Or Mr. Ramanan and his colleagues at Rams Creative have spent uncounted hours with us in defining our mission. I think it was very, very important for us and useful to define our values, to define what we wanted to do and why we wanted to do it, and then helping us communicating these to our community, to our donors, to our staff, and finally in reinforcing our aims and methods to see that they align. All the people I mentioned and many more have been of great help, so much so that we behave with them as if they are a part of the TMH of the Tirumala Mission Hospital. The way we phone them up at unusual times with constant questions and pestering, insist that they join us in interviews of people and for meetings at all sorts, at odd times. To raise the resources for this hospital and build the infrastructure was an equal challenge. As you all know, about a year and a half ago, 18 months ago, when we were finally about to start, it was a year of great financial and economic stress. There was a crisis for many business organizations, for us, and for many of our donors. Then Shekhar Swamy and John Christensen, his friend, stepped in. Shekhar is the president of R.K. Swamy BBDO, the advertising company. He, along with his former classmate John Christensen, was also an advertising professional, set up the CS Foundation about 5 years ago to support socially relevant projects. They've been helping the TCT ever since then, and most spectacularly and in a large way the tsunami project that we did, the water and the rehabilitation projects that we did. They both talked us into taking the plunge. They pointed out that no time was as good as the present, and they have then, since then, worked relentlessly to raise the resources to go ahead. What really amazes us is, in spite of their own difficulties, their own problems, so many organizations came forward and continue to do so to help us. Mr. Bhatt, Chairman of the Indian Overseas Bank, and his colleagues responded across the table and very generously. Of course, we came to know later, actually only after the meeting, that he knew about the TCT even earlier when he was in Bombay. He was extremely interested and helpful in our moving ahead. Mr. Bhatt, thank you very much. Similarly, when Bhuma and Indira from our group met Mr. Lakshmi Narayan and his colleagues at the Cognizant Foundation and made the presentation, they pointed out that such a project was very much in their program for support in their foundation, and Mr. Lakshmi Narayan and his colleagues said they would support us for the lab and the equipments.